at 3:30. I've got to go and pick the missus up from work. She's got an appointment at the doctor's, so that's half an hour away.
Let her get the tram.
That was some great footage there, mate, Ranty. That was some brilliant curve slaying again.
Kudos,
That
mate.
P1000 is awesome, isn't it?
Yeah. I just like the idea. Well, it's not an idea anymore. It is actually blockage. The atmosphere does cause the blockage, and that's why you can't see forever.
Nah.
You know, and it actually lowers the horizon.
Nah, it's the angle.
Randy, you heard about I'm gonna get hands-on the P900 this week.
I'm sorry, say again.
I'm gonna have my own P900 in the next few days. Jaren P900, yeah.
Wow.
Have you heard the story about this, Ranty? You probably haven't.
No, go on.
So basically, Jose did a GoFundMe and mentioned it on the debate. And off the back of that, one of the viewers of the debate explained that there was second-hand cameras. So Jose lowers his amount for his camera. So he lowers his target to like from $700 to $350.
Yeah.
Then Jaren explains that he's got a camera for sale and he could potentially buy that with a lowered amount on his GoFundMe. Someone heard that getting mentioned and basically went to Jaren and said, look, here's the $350, just send it to him. So Jose spoke to Jaren a couple of days ago and said, hey, thank you very much for the camera. An anonymous donor has basically paid for the camera that Jaren doesn't use anymore because he's got a P1000 now. So it's going to be in Jose's hands in the next couple of days.
Awesome.
Along with, he's had $150 in the GoFundMe, 25 of which was from Soundly, 25 of which was from Sandra Coolpix P1000 and P900, and $25 from someone else. I forget who. No, Soundly. $100 anonymous, 25 from Soundly and 25 from Sandra. So Jose's gone out and bought himself, or will be buying himself, a nice tripod and maybe a memory card to go with his new camera.
Brilliant.
Yeah, I'm excited. Looking forward to get hands-on and go out there and just put content out there, man. It's really exciting for me.
Yeah, the more people that do it, the better. I mean, this is what it's all about. I mean, if we can prove that it's not just a local phenomena here, that it happens everywhere, all over the world, we have people going out on the ground, boots on the ground, doing it, all what we need.
And it's sickening because last week I went out to do a bunch of observations, and when I got home and I plugged in my SD card to check my footage, half of the footage was gone. Didn't record it. The SD card got corrupted halfway on my observations because of the old camera, and it's all beat up. So it's heartbreaking, like, not to catch half of the things I recorded,
Ranty, have you got anything to announce?
Like what?
The arrival of a new Ranty.
There's a new Ranty?
That's funny. I was going to ask if he's pregnant.
Look in the group chat.
Oh, hang on. Group chat.
It's worth a bottle of gin for me.
Yeah, you're awesome. You don't have just one CGI Ranty now. You got
Do I
two
hear
CGI Ranties.
Tiny feet Ranty? I bet you're right. No, I'm a bottle of gin. What?
Sock's got a sock.
Oh, I've got a sock account, have I?
No, your sock account's got a sock account.
I'm confused.
Hey, you got a pair of socks.
So, I'll explain it to him. So, you've got a minute before we'll start the next show. So, CGI Ranty was in the chat moaning that there's a sock account of CGI Ranty. So, your sock,
right.
CGI Ranty, has picked up his own sock with the same name.
That's quite funny.
It is
It's
funny.
like the Twilight Zone.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they're live, and there's also a PayPal link in the info box below the video once it's rendered. But most importantly, if you would like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the shape of the Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel. So please share the show. And one last time, if you're new to the channel or you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth debate. Now, we are joined by The Plain Truth, Ranty Flat Earth, Mark Doxy, Jose, Event Horizon, Earth Flattener, Arwin, and Alan. Or Tony. Good to have you all.
Hey, hey, hey.
Hello, what? Good to be here.
We all live in a yellow submarine. R.
Yellow submarine.
So, any signs of curvature?
Yeah, my belly's big.
Got a curve head. Hunter on the panel, Ranty. Nothing from
Yeah,
you?
my belly's getting bigger. I've got to admit it.
Earth-based curvature? Always Earth-based.
I'm on the Earth.
It's
good to have you back, Ranty.
God. What about...
Ranty, is the missus expecting?
No.
Not that you know.
I would hope not.
That's a bottle of gin, I want to be, to me.
Okie dokie. Don't know what you're talking about. Any signs of axial rotation of the Earth-based variety for you, Ranty?
There's no spin.
Not spinning? No one going to
No,
offer
we're not
not even a presuppositional R-based Earth spin proof? No? Nobody? Anybody?
Even Tim Osman is a geocentrist because he can't prove a spin.
What about the distance to the sun then? Any evidence of that?
I don't think there is.
There is no distance to the sun. And we don't know the size of the moon.
There's no distance to the horizon.
Oh, Mark, you took my line. I was going to use the... Mark!
You're not quick enough.
Great minds think alike.
There's no measuring tape long enough to measure the distance to the sun.
That's definitely a compliment. What about gas pressure without a container? Any evidence of that?
No.
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 Self-perpetuating molten iron core at the centre of a presupposed spherical Earth?
Oh boy.
No.
The floor feels cold. So no. I think so.
Yeah, shout out to Paul Voigt.
Damn, I miss Anthony. He always says these things.
Shout out to Paul Voigt, you mean?
Yeah. Shout out
retracted.
Yeah, I was waiting for it. Right, moving on. Any scientific evidence of gravity?
No.
No.
Silence.
Lots of maths. No scientific evidence.
Talking of maths, what about that R value? Any evidence of Earth radius?
No. No.
No?
So, have you presented the egg then already?
No, I've been waiting for you.
Oh, no, you haven't. You did it on the first one, no? Surely.
No, I deliberately didn't. I was really tempted. I've got it queued up, but I didn't. So I
Oh,
prefer.
go on, you do it. I want to hear you explain it.
But which egg are we talking about?
A different egg, different situation. You'll be very happy. It's a flat Earth egg.
It's a conspiracy egg.
Did you crush it? Conspiracy cat's egg or
Yeah.
Riley's egg?
It is conspiracy cat's eggs.
I'll pick it up and throw it.
Actually,
Not
I
Riley's
should
egg.
auction it, shouldn't I?
Yes, you're very excited as well, I can tell. Right, let's see if I
No
can share
happy
this.
children.
Where is it?
Well, essentially what we did, well, when I did that live stream with the egg, I say things as I see it. So
how do I mute it? God damn. There we go. I'll just find my happy eggs. Okay.
You got your eggs ready to go.
I've got the eggs ready to go. So I don't know if you can see, you've got these two smiley faces on the top half of the egg. So the right-hand egg is from about 1 meter away, and the left-hand egg is about 100 meters away. Just see if I can spin on. Ah, oh, damn. Missed it again. Okay, can you see that? Bottom section?
Does this egg play guitar?
So, if you can see my cursor, you've got Ranty's lines that he's drawn out on this egg. And the bottom section on his nice massive aperture super zoom, making his life as difficult as possible, only gives you a very limited amount of this disappearing from bottom up, because it's a zoom camera. But you can see from the details within the ring what you've got and what's happening to it. It's displaying the exact same effects that you get on the C-Truck or anything at the distances that Ranty's usually looking at the stuff through his camera. But even I said this to a few people in chat recently, it doesn't matter what the circumstances. You will always get things disappearing from the bottom up because of the angle. And in this instance, you've lost a huge chunk of the ring. Approximately half of the ring is no longer visible. It's just stretched out the top half and cut the bottom half off. There we go. So you can probably see that a bit more clearly now. So you're losing all of the detail below the, I would say, the second line on the right hand image. That's what you've actually got in that ring. And then it's distorted and stretched to all hell right down. Exactly the same as you see with other stuff before it disappears from the bottom up. Now, as I said to Ranty, it's not a massive criticism because it's useful to have it done in this method. He's not raising and lowering the camera. These are exactly the same camera heights. He's just backed away from the item. And sure enough, you end up with a limited angle of view to the bottom of anything you see, and there it is, the ring's being stretched out and distorted, while the top half of the egg, which is above the midpoint of the camera, has got an infinite angle, so there's no distortion. Why would there be? You can see it with a massive angle. The bottom half, on the other hand, the further he gets, the smaller the angle, so it will disappear from bottom up. Fairly straightforward. There's another thing I want to show on this video, so I'll just because it's fiddly to queue it up, I don't know what this particular application is that I'm using, but it's a bit horrible, but I'll queue it up in the meantime. Hopefully you'll talk amongst yourselves while I do so, but there's another thing I want to show you. Find it.
Yeah, I mean, what's really interesting with this, when we actually do the analysis of it, is that the ring, you can't make anything, but you can actually just make the little dots of the top part of the ring, but the rest of it is just blurred. It's essentially, when you're looking over a long distance, we get this, don't we? We get this blurring. When you look at the boats and stuff in distance or anything, things get blurred. And that's just before it starts to go into that very narrow viewing angle and that gets everything compressed. And good example, I mean, I think at the time when I actually did the live stream, that seeing the ring in the camera kind of took me back a bit, you know, so I'm like, we're seeing it all. But then when you actually analyze it and you look back at this stuff and you get a chance to pick over it, you can see that the top part of the egg is absolutely lines up. Everything lines up on it. All the details on it are exactly the same. But at the very bottom, everything is all distorted and stretched and twisted, and you can't make things out. So, and that's only over 100 meters. So,
okay, can you all see what's on my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so what I want you to pay attention to is, so you can see my mouse, these sections here just above the roadway. Yeah, so I'm going to play it. It plays in slow motion. Right. You see what's happening with this land in the background?
Mm-hmm.
Look familiar?
Yeah.
Well, that's exactly the same effect that you're getting with your land, i.e. this floaty land effect. Yeah? As it comes into a very limited angle of view. Now, in this instance, it's going uphill. Sorry, you have to excuse the knocks and bangs. My kid's having a pillow fight with my mic. Oh, dear. So yeah, it's all about the angle. I'm just gonna go on mute for a bit.
Hello, Emma.
I question it.
Hold on, please. Unmute. Don't mute. Speak up.
Kick.
Oh.
Gone.
Continue.
Nathan, go back to that shot real quick.
Oh, really? Okay, if I can. I'll do my best.
Well, it was just interesting. Look at the right side of the landscape is higher than the left side. That was just an interesting contrast. I thought you were going to point that out. So roll forward a little bit. Go. Yeah, see there? So, I mean, it was just interesting. It just looked like the right side was higher than the left, but maybe that's just nothing really.
Well, that's the hill itself. I mean, what you're seeing is because there's an upward hill, you've got a massive limitation to the angle of view, and anything in that angle, including the stuff that's being miraged, is being caused by that limited angle. That's what that's what I'm gonna assert.
Do you want to present me, Nath?
Yeah, that's much better, Ranty.
Okay, yeah. So this was me. This was me cropping and editing to show you when you took the screenshots of this. So I might be able to go back, but this is the lower part of the egg. Now these are scaled exactly the same height. You know, everything matched on the top part of it. And if I go back a bit, hopefully, I can just keep going back. Might be able to bring up the top part of it. Just bear with me. Oh, obviously not. So that's a bit of a bust. I thought I was able to go back and be able to pick that out where I had the lines. Can you send me those in Skype, Nath?
Yeah, I can send you the screenshots if you want. Is that easier?
Yeah. But also we've got now this is a track surface, so it's not designed to be reflective, right? It's very unreflective. If you've watched the video when I actually do it, it's just a track and field, unreflective piece of land, basically. And
like
yet,
the spot in the street, yeah.
And look at this. Look what we're getting on a very flat surface, right? Because if you remember, the Globers have always said that we only ever see inferior mirages when it hits the horizon or it got it on a curved surface. You don't get it on flat surfaces. Now, this is what they have stated many a time. I've heard them do it. This categorically debunks that completely. This is a very flat surface, and we are getting this mirror effect.
Yeah, they pretend like it's on the upside. The reflection, but it tends to be underneath. That's where the real miraging happens.
So yeah, I mean, it was a worthwhile test, even though the lens of the camera was about 2.5 inch, actually above the surface, because I wasn't able to get it any lower with the size of the camera. But still, at 100 meters, it was able to give us a relatively narrow angle on a flat surface. And this is what we've seen at 100 meters. So we are getting an inferior mirage. There is a mirroring effect taking place on a surface that shouldn't be able to mirror. It's not designed for that. It's not like water that's reflective. You know, the surface wasn't designed for that. So this just shows that, yes, it is able to be replicated on a very flat surface.
Yeah, that surface in front of it looks like ice, doesn't it? But that's a running track, and that, you know, that's got grip on it. It's a very textured surface, but that looks like ice.
Yeah, exactly. And if you've seen the video, I mean, if you look at this image here, this is a close-up of the same objects, and you can see that this is just a running track. This is what it is. It's just a running track. It's not designed to give you this effect over here.
I was saying if those two last side by side, Ranty, if you want to go to Skype and pick them up.
The reflective properties of the material are not relevant. It's only about how long does the surface stretch.
Thank you, Donnie Johnson, for the comment. I'm sorry. Thank you, Donnie Johnson, for the comment. He said the cherry tomato is getting jealous.
The cherry tomato.
Yeah, no mind.
You've got a new member of the FA family. It's a happy little cherry tomato, mate.
Well, on here, what I've done is I've lined everything up. So we've got the top of the egg on the left, top of the egg on the right. The line goes right across the top. The same with the left eyebrow. I've lined it up to the left eyebrow and the corner of the mouth. So all of this part of the egg is the same. There's no difference between the two. This is the midpoint, probably about 2.5 inch, so this would be where the camera lens is in height wise. And then and look at beneath, look at the difference, the distortion going on in the very narrow angle. Look at the difference between the two. For a start, the ring has already been pulled down on the left-hand one, a good couple of millimeters. And by the time it gets to the bottom, it's been stretched to hell. You can't make anything out. But outside the narrow viewing angle, everything's visible and lines up perfectly.
Stick that in your pipe and smoke it, conspiracy cats.
Exactly. Exactly. And also look at the difference in the width of this ring compared to the real ring.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
So, you know, we're losing stuff from the bottom up. It's being distorted. You can't make it out. And let's be honest, this is only over 100 meters. If I was able to pull this, if I was able to get a straight track like this of 400 meters, let's say, imagine the distortion and what would you be able to see? What wouldn't you be able to see? You know, this is just a 100-meter test. You know, I do my footage over 20 miles, 30 miles away. So from a foot. So this is 2.5 inch at 100 meters.
Brilliant work, Ranty.
The angles that I'm working with are much narrower than this. So let's work it out. So if I have a 1 foot observation, and this is a 2.5 inch observation, essentially it's looking at the same, let's work this out. So that would be a 1 foot observation at 500 meters away. Yeah. Well, I've done 1 foot observations from 18 miles away. So that's 36 times further, 36 times more angle. You know, I've been working at 36 times more angle than this.
It just makes me laugh. You're down at a foot at the ground and you're seeing objects at 18 miles away from a foot off the floor. I mean, alarm bells ringing. Come on, everybody. Your Earth is not a sphere.
Yeah, but what you are seeing is exactly the same effect on Anthony's pictures of the Isle of Man at 34 miles to the north end of the Isle of Man. And it's all squashed. You know, you've lost the vast majority of it, and what you're left with is the stretched bit. That's what you're left with. Exactly the same as this ring. And this is just replicating it in a small scale. Can you bring up that diagram that we drew together, Ranty, please?
Yeah, I should be able to. Wait. Over here. This one?
That's it. Cool. Let's put you on. Okie dokie. So this is obviously not to scale. This is just to give you an idea of what is happening and achieving it in an orthographic view. So in an orthographic view, we can see the feet of both the left-hand stickman and the right-hand stickman. And if we only pay attention to this line here, which would be the line the Globers like to claim is the line of sight, ignoring all angles and any aspects of perspective, then you can see everything. Right? Wrong. You have a certain angle. So in the first angle, which is the angle that he can see the entire man, he's got, for the sake of argument, not to scale, don't need any crap from anybody in the comments, we'll call it 10 degrees. So that's the angle to the entire person. You okay, sausage? What are you doing? What are you doing? So then we have the angle to his legs, which is, again, we're going to just call it 2 degrees. Obviously less, a considerably smaller angle. Then if you can zoom in, Ranty, just to the right-hand side of the frame. Keep going. There we go. Stop. So, no, too much. Go back, go back. Bit more, bit more. So we can see both. There we go. So this is the 2 degrees to his legs. And then, what do you know? When we go to his feet, we've got an even smaller angle. So the angle is getting smaller, and if you push this guy further back, all of those numbers would decrease in size. Hey, Anon. Be with you shortly.
Hello.
Good to have you. So the easiest way to demonstrate this in orthographic view is just by pixel. So in this angle, there's more pixels to write the word 2 degrees. In this angle, you can't even fit the words in when you make them the smallest that paint will make them. And they get distorted because there isn't enough pixels to make up that section at that angle. In other words, this angle is too small to resolve when put into a perspective view, i.e. the way that we actually see the world. This angle's too limited. That's why things disappear from the bottom up. Simple as that. Now to
exactly. You can't even make out the words. I mean, I actually wrote this. It says 0.5 and it's degrees with a capital D, degrees. But like you said, you can't even make it out. It's distorted.
Not enough angle to give you the resolution. And in literal terms, in resolution, what we mean here is the amount of pixels you have in that limited angle to draw something, to write some text. There's not enough pixels because the angle is too narrow. It is as simple as that. And the further something gets away, the more limited that angle gets. And eventually, it's too small to resolve. You go down from 1 pixel to no pixels. And what do you know? You can still see the stuff in the bigger angle. That's still visible. That doesn't disappear. But this stuff does. That's why things disappear from the bottom up. Excellent drawing. Who made this, Ranty?
I did.
Superb.
Well, you told me what to write.
Yeah, we made it together. We're just blowing smoke up each other's asses. But just to round out, so anything. Sorry, just one last point. Sorry, I just want to just before you go. Sorry, one last point. So above the midpoint of your aperture, yeah, everything above that point, you've got an infinite angle to. You know, you can see anything. So if you're looking at the bottom of a lighthouse, the top half of it, anything that's above your eye line, you've got a massive angle to it. You're never going to lose anything. But the bottom section, the smaller it is, the closer it is to the ground, the smaller the angle is going to be to view it. So it's just a cause and effect relationship in terms of the angle that you're going to see. Not needing science, observably bloody obvious. The more things get further away, the more limited the angle will become. And eventually, you can't resolve it.
Must be really embarrassing for Globers every day getting taught how to see and use their eyes properly.
So the net effect, if I bring up this screen, is things disappear from the bottom up. And as you can see from this refraction line where this blade bends upon itself, that's the line. This isn't the horizon. We've got this refractive band that runs all the way through the image. And what do you know, like the footage of the car with stuff coming over the limited angle, you've got the same exact effect, stuff doubling upon itself with a line running through the full length of the image. In the case of this blade, you can just see the blade. It's just a blade hanging out there on its own. And there's the line that it refracts through, and it goes the opposite direction, just like Ranty was showing earlier on his P1000 footage. Because it's our new show, Ranty. Any chance you can bring up that P1000 footage that was absolutely glorious?
I can give you 5 minutes and then I have to go.
Yeah, cool. But as long as I get it on this footage, I'll be over the moon. I have that footage on this show.
So you want the boat and the turbines?
Yeah, the one where you've got the refraction, the inferior mirage going up towards that midpoint, and the actual yellow section with whatever it is. I don't know. It's probably a ladder or something going at the side of the turbine. Here we go. Let's make it nice and big. You're up.
Okay. There we go.
Beautiful, beautiful. It's all
you can actually
perspective. That's what it is.
The inferior mirage is
Beautiful.
the blockage. Well, hopefully you'll be doing some of your own observations, so I hear, with the P900.
Yes, I will. And there's a lot of traffic of boats in a little Gulf section where I live. It's like 20 minutes from me, and there's some ferry boats that go every day, just circling around. So I put, I think, one video with one of the ferries, but it doesn't do any good honor because the camera got a lot of pixelation and it was really hazy that day. So yeah, I'm gonna be able to do a lot of good observations in there. And the P900 is gonna go to Poncho Train hopefully in the first week of January. So looking forward for it.
What's your channel called?
Jose J.G. Gonzalez. 3 words. First Jose, then J.G., then Gonzalez.
Great stuff. Looking forward to seeing what you can show, because I think the more people that do this kind of stuff and look into it and do this photography all around the world, we can, then people are always saying to me that this is just a local phenomenon where I live. I don't believe that. I believe this happens everywhere. So the more people that go and prove that, the better, as far as I'm concerned.
It's not a local phenomenon, mate. That's just people arguing the toss. I live in Kent, so local places to be like Dover and Folkestone. And even with my naked eye, I can see the coast of France from Folkestone, which is like 27 miles away. So, and that's just with my naked eye. But this is camera work, mate, and you're describing the individual components of the miraging effect and what's going on. So people are just arguing the toss, mate.
One of the good exercises also for observations to find old footage and stuff. Visit videos either on YouTube, Google, archives, anywhere you want. Before 5 years ago, like in, let's say, 2010, before, find footage from before or zoom in stuff in the distance, and you're going to find a lot of footage with this kind of phenomena from people that has no idea about flat Earth because it wasn't in the bloom yet. So find footage pre-flat Earth explosion, and you're going to find all this kind of phenomena taking place all over the world.
I'm sure Ranty's got to dash off now, so thank you very much indeed for presenting all that, Ranty. I really appreciate it.
No worries. I'll let you guys get back to what you've been smashing it recently, so I'll let you get on with that. And yeah, I've got to nip out. Fun.
Ace. Kudos.
Cheers, Ranty,
good
mate.
job.
Thank you.
See you later, guys.
Laters.
It's good to have Ranty back.
Ranty the Curve Slayer. Genius work.
He's a walking advert for the P1000 now, isn't he?
He really is. Yeah, he really is. He really is. He wants to get sponsored by them or something.
Yeah, I see Red Pill Philosophy just uploaded a video. I'm going to take a look after this video ends because he's doing observations with the P1000 too. Not too many, but he did some new footage. So yeah, we all got to take a look around to see who everybody is putting content out there,
But shout out to Conspiracy Cats to thinking that he'd thought he'd found something and we debunked ourselves and everything like that. Yeah. You're funny, Conspiracy Cats. This was nothing like what you thought it was.
Yeah, retracted.
Thank you. But get your ass in here, Conspiracy Cats.
What was with that dude yesterday?
Oh, what, Thomas?
Yeah.
That was cognitive dissonance on a crazy scale. He didn't even understand the words that were coming out of his mouth. It was crazy.
That was fun.
I mean, it was very entertaining, but, just humiliating for him.
There's been a lot of people that have been humiliated on the baller side over the last, couple of months, going back to the Tommy Hench, who I bought in from Facebook, and there's been a couple of other guys since then who have literally just had their arses handed back to them on a silver platter. I've been punch drunk, most of them. We got any ballers in today?
I don't know, we've got a new guest who didn't get to say anything because I was in the middle of something. I'm really sorry, Anon. How you doing? Are you a baller?
No.
Bummer. They're all too scared to join.
Hold on. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yes.
we hear you.
All right, good.
More spots, by the way.
No, I'm not a baller. I don't know what to think, but I'm pretty sure we don't live on a ball. My question for you guys is: have you've heard about the biosphere, yeah?
The biosphere.
In Arizona. It's like a domed. I don't know if it still exists, but it's basically like a biodome where its own little ecosystem, isolated by a dome. You know what I'm talking about? Like they.
No.
Yeah, I think so. Hey, new guest, Seamus. How you doing?
Hello.
Good to have you.
Fine. I've got a question. I don't want to put in there, but like, I was just wondering the video that you did over 10 meters, and the book completely disappeared. Then you had Ranty with your man over there on the racetrack. Over 100 meters, the whole egg didn't disappear at all. Can you explain that there?
Yeah, sure. So what we used to call the angular size limitation is more accurately described as the diffraction limit, and that is purely dictated by the size of the aperture. So had Ranty have done it, I moaned at him immediately as soon as he showed it me. I was like, at any point in the live stream, did you actually just put the camera phone down? He's like, no. I was like, well, it would have been 100 times easier to just do it with a camera phone. It's got a tiny little aperture. So, it's much more akin to your eyes and how they would see things disappear from the bottom up. And that is down to the size of the aperture. So Ranty made his life very difficult. But it was very analogous to the types of observations he's doing. And he's replicated that you can still have stuff disappear from the bottom up in small scale. So the bottom half of that ring has gone. You can't see the bottom section of it. And what you're left with is stretch, just like you see on the sea truck. So absolutely demonstrates the same thing, just not as dramatic, because he's got a massive aperture on the camera.
But your video had what, 10 meters a book?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Something like that. I don't know. I've not measured it.
The whole book disappeared over 10 meters.
Yeah. Did you not just listen to what I just explained?
I don't think you explained it very well there,
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What's the diffraction limit?
Well, it doesn't make sense.
Sorry.
It was a different kind of
Hold on.
camera.
You just said I didn't explain it very well. Do you know what a diffraction limit is?
I might do. Do you?
Of course I do. I'm explaining it. I'm asking you, considering you've just said I didn't explain it very well.
Well, what does the angle of attack mean then?
Oh, you're asking me a question now, so I haven't explained it very well. I'm asking you what the diffraction limit is, and you're asking me what the angle of attack is. I'll answer your question. The angle that you view something at.
I thought it was the angle between the line of the chord of the aerofoil and the relative airflow.
Right. The angle you view something at.
It's a aeronautical.
I couldn't give a crap. I will call it the angle of attack. The angle that you attack the thing you are looking at.
Right.
Right.
Do you use
okay.
an aeronautical term?
I couldn't. Did you not hear me? Are you deaf?
I did hear you. I just wanted to clarify.
I don't care if it's an aeronautical term. I don't care what you think that term means in aeronautics. I mean the angle you attack the thing you are looking at. The target. The thing you are looking at. The angle that you attack it at.
Right. So when you put the camera on the floor in the hall that you did, and the whole book disappeared.
You've said that 3 times, and I've explained. The aperture is smaller on the camera phone. If you don't understand, fine.
Does anyone else think that's right?
I don't care what anybody else thinks. If you don't understand what a diffraction limit is, you can sod off and go and learn. Until then, you don't understand this. Your ignorance doesn't excuse the fact that the aperture size will affect your angular resolution limit. Okay?
Right, it just seems like you...
Yeah, right. It just seems like you're a moron. So shut your stupid mouth. You don't understand this.
So I got a question for him, really quick. So this is about consensus, because you asked what we think about it. If we all say no, we don't think about it, then you're going to say no because everybody say no? Or what is your point about asking us?
Well, I just think that Ranty, man, did like a live stream, and he was clearly showing up Nathan's observation as incorrect.
Did you not just watch the first half of the show? We've just gone through it on the first half of the show. Did you not just watch what Ranty presented? Literally, did you not see it?
I missed the first show. I just think you're playing in shadows there, Nathan.
Don't just think, listen to the explanation. Close your mouth for a second and listen to the explanation that Nathan's giving you. It's very easy. If you want to know the nuances of the argument, listen to what Nathan's saying.
It's a waste of time. I'll explain again that the aperture size of the camera affects the diffraction limit, the angular size of things that you can see with your zoom length. Yeah, that's directly affected by the type of camera you use. Ranty used a P1000, the best zoom camera on the market. I used a camera phone. The diffraction limit is far smaller on the camera phone. Hence, I got the effect far easier. Okay? If you don't understand it still, don't just assert, well, you got the book to disappear. Yeah, I did. Because I had a small aperture. If you don't understand, sod off and go and learn about it.
You mean the aperture, the focal length?
The aperture.
Oh my
goodness. Right. Right, okay, the aperture there.
Yeah, right, okay then. Okay, so you understand it now. So I hadn't explained it badly, you just didn't understand. You're just stupid. You didn't understand, you were stupid. So to assert that I didn't explain it well was just your ignorance, not my poor explanatory skills.
I still think you're not...
Oh, really? I'm still ignorant. I still don't fully understand it. I'm not going to go away and learn about it. I'll assert that you explained it badly.
You have to do in the Irish accent that you know.
Yeah, I'll do it in an Irish accent. And say that you're asserting I didn't explain it well, when in fact I explained it perfectly well. Everybody else understood it. It's just you. Nice. Just you with your stupidity.
That's not nice there, Nathan.
Yeah, I don't care. You're stupid, so I'm just going to talk to you like I want. Don't care.
Going back to my biodome.
Seamus, you're suffering from severe cognitive dissonance, mate. The information you've just been given doesn't jive with what you've got in your head, your presupposed ideas. If you listen to the explanation rationally, it logically all falls into place. But you just don't want to listen to it.
What do you mean by aperture? Do you mean that the hole that they have there?
Oh my goodness. God. You don't know what aperture means?
Can we go back to my question instead of this troll?
Yeah.
Thanks. So the biodome, as I was saying, it's a closed system, isolated from the outside, and inside that, I mean, I don't know how tall it is. It's a few hundred feet, I guess. And there was actually a comedy movie in the 90s with I forget who, about two people living in one of these things. And the question is, isn't there a pressure gradient inside the dome? So the idea that you cannot have a pressure gradient if you have a dome, then we can actually present it in a biodome, in a biosphere. I mean, I have a feeling that this biosphere can help, shed some light and prove that, we actually are in a confined space, or more the air.
Good question. I don't know the answer. Anybody else know if there's a gradient in the biodome?
I really don't know. I never looked at it. I'm
gonna be, but I don't know.
We always talk about being in a solid dome, so I think I tried to get some information, just basic, but I think if we go down this rabbit hole, trying to figure out how the ecosystem and the pressure system inside a biosphere works, we can kind of expand and make it bigger, at least in our head. And try to see if they can drive. Yeah.
I've got to be honest. I only understood about 50% of that. Sorry.
Yeah, I didn't hear any of that. Is he kind of drawing a parallel with like microclimates, like the Eden Dome in southwest of England, like the Eden Project? Is that what he's talking about? Because I can't hear him too well.
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
The biosphere, correct.
Yeah,
the biosphere, the biodome, Eden Project, whatever they're trying to make on Earth to pretend that they're going to create one on Mars or something like that. It's like a isolated system. And inside there's pressure gradients.
I mean, I'm pretty sure there is. I wanted to see if you guys have looked into this or if you know
They're
anything about it.
microclimates, aren't they? They're controlled climates, so there are differing systems within there. I would assume there is, but it's definitely something to worth looking into.
I thought it's completely isolated because they wanted to test like building these things in harsh environments like the moon or some other planet or some moon or somebody. So it's completely isolated. They have trees inside for oxygen and such. So I think it's completely isolated.
Yeah,
It's cool.
Yeah,
It's
they
something to
said
look
it
for.
was. Hello. They said it was, but it was a miserable failure. The biosphere, one in Arizona.
You know, why was that? What was it a failure?
They had to continuously bring air in from the outside. In other words, the machines, the air conditioning, the filtration systems couldn't keep up, couldn't keep the air clean, couldn't. They made it sound like it was a success, but if you actually read about it, you see that it was. It didn't work the way they thought it would. They had to continuously supplement oxygen and air and fresh water.
Well, it sounds like you got your answer.
Let's say this was a success, this biodome structure. So, and then they say 10 years from now, like, oh yeah, we just built a biodome in in freaking Mars, you know, for people to go and live. No, we didn't build it. Robots did, right?
Hey, Mike, how you doing? Can you hear us? Hello? Hello, Earth to Mike. Oh, have we lost the panel?
No.
I'm here.
No?
But I don't see him in the back chat, so.
My bad, moving on.
I saw a Conspiracy Cats video this morning, and when I watched Ranty's live stream, I knew right away that Conspiracy Cats was only going to show the first test and would not show when Ranty reversed the direction he was filming from. Have y'all talked about that yet?
Touched on it a little
Or
bit.
Ranty was on the track.
I didn't actually see the video, but Ranty just showed me the side-by-sides of a metre away and 100 metres away, and what was missing of the ring, how it was stretched, how everything above the midpoint of his lens was in perfect proportion, everything below was all messed up and distorted, etc.
Right. Right, but he actually took the egg in the Buddha statue and put it at the opposite end of the track than the first pictures he took. Put it at the opposite end of the track, and when he did, he got some more diffraction with the sun behind in other words, the sun was coming up behind the statue rather than
Can you snipe Mike Martin?
just reverse the position of the.
Sorry to interrupt. This is Mike Martin just dropping and joining. Sorry to interrupt you. I'm really sorry, Bob. Did you get that, Arwin?
What? Sorry? No? Who?
Mike in the back chat.
He's already not. He's not in the back chat. He just keeps coming in and out just to disturb.
Oh, okay. Sorry to interrupt you, Bob. My bad.
It's all right. In other words, Ranty took the egg and he put it at the opposite end of the track and did the test again. And that time he got more blockage on the bottom of the objects. Did he talk about that already?
No, he didn't. He didn't mention that to me.
When he was
like
on earlier?
I should really go and watch his video as opposed to just have him spoon feed it to me over Skype.
Yeah, and I thought Conspiracy Cats is going to do. He's only going to show the first test. He's not going to show the one where it actually showed blockage. And also for the other guy, I just did the same thing this morning down my hallway. I have about about 50 feet of clear distance that I could film from, and there's a small rug, a mat, you know, it's maybe an inch high on the floor, and did it with my iPad with a smaller aperture and the lens being closer to the floor. It disappears. The rug totally disappears. And when I do it with my P900, larger aperture, plus you can't get the lens all the way to the floor, well, you can still see part of it. I have to put it on a bigger screen and look at it so that I can see, but I believe even with the P900, a bit of it does disappear. But you're exactly right. It depends on what aperture you're using, without a doubt.
Any chance you can show us?
No, no way.
What would be wonderful?
I might be able to do it with my iPad. Show you with my iPad.
Yeah, I mean, if you can show us live. Are you calling on the iPad?
So, excuse me.
Oh, here we go.
Yes.
Cool.
Yes,
Great. We're going to get a live demonstration
iPad.
of this. Excellent.
Can you see my screen now?
We can. We can see your screen. Or we could. There we go.
I might have taken it off. Okay, how about now?
Yeah, all good. All good.
Now, I'm about 3 feet off the floor right now. The light at the end of the hall, at the end of the room, you see the white rug?
Yeah, I see it.
Drop it down. Coming down to the floor. And now I'm on the floor. Well, I can't go all the way to the floor because my headphone jack's sticking out of it, but there you go. And can you still see the white rug? It's too small for me to see. Watch out. Anyway, so
easy as that. Easy peasy.
So why don't these guys just do the test themselves? Everybody has a camera. Everybody has a phone.
So I would like to now ask the people in chat. So what gives? Is this floor not level? Are we lying? Or is it a simple case of the smaller aperture caused, with its limited angle, the rug to disappear from bottom up, exactly as demonstrated? You're all screwed, Globers. There's no earth curve, it's just the angle. I'm really grateful for you doing that, Bob. Really grateful, because that will encourage others to do exactly the same. It is just as simple as that. He just lowered his iPad live, and the effect, there it was! Easy peasy.
Yes, indeed. Beautiful.
And again,
beautiful.
Ranty was zoomed in with his P900 on the egg too. I think if he would have done it with his zoom all the way back, in other words, not zooming in on the egg, just lower the camera, I think it would have disappeared. With it zoomed in, I tried it myself. Zoomed in, it's not going to disappear because it's magnified. With it zoomed back all the way, or the wide angle view, I think it would have disappeared. The problem you get into there is when you get so far away with an object so small, well, you're not going to, it's going to be difficult to see the object. So I think the small scale test with the iPhone and the short distance, like I said, I think it's I've measured it before because I collimate my telescopes from that distance inside the house. It's 60 feet. If I get all the way back from where I was standing to the window in the distance near the white rug that you were looking at. So we'll call it 50 feet from where I was to the rug. So yeah, just I think Conspiracy Cats has reached a point where he you know, when he first began with Anthony, he was genuinely looking at it in an objective way, but now it's about ego. It's gotten personal to him, and he doesn't care about what's true or not. All he has to do is do the test himself with his own phone, and he can see that it happens. All he cares about is poking fun and
they don't want to know.
Trying to make people look stupid.
They just
surely
reject
he's
something.
tried it just. Surely he's tried it just out of curiosity. He's tried it and seen what happens. Do you think, or do you think he's just so?
Of course, he's tried it.
Absorbed in it, in his own worldview, that he's not even going to try it.
I think he probably tried it, but yeah, it was so inconvenient, so blatant. It's better to ignore it, act like it doesn't exist.
Right. It's about ego now, and poking fun and editing out short clips to make people look stupid. You know, I'm poking fun at them. That, yeah, obviously.
Have you got a channel, Bob? Obviously, you've got a channel, but does it have any content?
Yeah.
What's the full name of the channel?
It's What About Bob, I believe.
What About Bob? Cool. I have to check it out. Any chance you can publish just literally like a 20-second video of you raising and lowering your iPad, because it's in such low resolution when it finally gets out to the audience here. I just know they'll be critical of the quality. But if you record it on the iPad and just publish it as a 20-second video, I'll mirror it.
I'll try it. Yeah, I'll work on that.
Yeah, blinding. I'll look you up, subscribe to you.
Pretty busy with the elderly parents, so I'll try and get a time to do that.
Sure, but literally, if you just do exactly what you did with it recording and then publish it to YouTube, it should only be hopefully 5 minutes work at the most.
Okay. Yeah, I've never uploaded a video to YouTube. I've never even edited a video. So, but I'll try it. Yeah.
Cool.
I'm sure I can figure it out.
Yeah, on YouTube, there's a button on the top right-hand corner of an iPad, and you press it, and it just says, do you want to go live or do you want to upload? And then it'll take you straight to the library after you've recorded the video. You could even record it in there. So I think there's even, if you go on the top right-hand corner of YouTube on an iPad, it even says, do you want to record? And you can literally record it there and then, and it'll upload it immediately. So it's dead simple now. YouTube really know how to get people to upload
Okay,
stuff.
great. Okay, great. Super. Didn't know that.
Cool.
But I'll do it. The other thing I was wondering, surely you guys have talked about maps at some point.
Yes, you said when you joined you wanted to talk about maps.
I know that Arwen has talked about Google Earth and the scale changing as you move the cursor over different parts of Google Earth.
Yes.
Why can't we not have an actual depiction of the Earth? I mean, even Google Earth. Have you measured it, Arwen? I haven't, honestly.
Measured what?
Is Google Earth the same size pole to pole as it is east to west?
No, it varies depending on the region. It's very region-specific scale.
No, I mean the actual distance. If you measured Google Earth, the globe, east to west, you know, from
Google
one
Earth
side
is
to
a
the
model.
other.
I see what you're saying. You're
Right.
saying, is it a sphere? Is it actually a sphere? If you zoom in and where those scale changes are happening.
Right. Is it a perfect sphere, Or is it like, because it doesn't look like an oblate spheroid.
Oh, exactly. Yeah.
It looks like a perfect.
No, they just make
perfect
they
sphere.
use a perfect sphere. That's true.
So we don't.
geometrical
So it's
trick.
not an actual. It's not a model of the Earth. It's not a actual model of the Earth.
I don't think
if they
that
say
Google represents the government's opinion on the shape of the Earth. They represent their own choice because they're a corporation.
No, but they did use government information.
Yeah, sure, of course,
Yeah,
of course.
but they
put
don't
it together.
represent the government.
Right? No, I'm not saying they did. I'm just.
They don't owe the public anything. You can't make the inquiry of information to Google. They're a private company.
Hey, Zinda. You hear us?
I'm just wondering why we don't even have an actual model, a globe. Does anybody have a globe that they claim is a actual
No, there isn't.
2-scale depiction of the Earth?
No. You have a good laugh. Ask a globehead to show you their model and see what they show you. See what you get. They don't have one. They don't actually have a model.
Right.
I have a model. But it's a model.
No, you don't. You have a Mercator map.
No, but I can use
Do
all that
you
information
guys
and
think
sketch out how it's set up.
Sorry.
But even a Mercator map is distorted. The size of the
Sorry.
continents are distorted.
Do you guys think those are pictures from airplanes on Google Earth?
No, of course
Satellite
not.
images?
No.
Definitely.
Oh, fuck.
The satellite
shit.
images, yes.
The rendering.
Rendering? No, he's talking about the satellite imagery.
Oh, you mean when you get in close? The zoomed up stuff? They are actually photos, though, aren't they? They're
Yeah.
like high altitude photos.
Yes. Spy-plane photos.
Mhm.
Just sweep the entire
Yeah,
area and...
The photos are photos. I thought you were being facetious and saying when it's zoomed out and it's obviously a rendering.
Yeah, high altitude plane or balloons, satellites on balloons.
Sorry,
No,
what?
I don't know. I just know. I don't know for sure, but I know from my own experience, being around airports and knowing other pilots that the number of photographic aircraft that have been in operation, in other words, the number of pilots that I know who have gotten jobs flying photographic airplanes,
Sorry, I had a sound issue.
has
Sorry.
increased.
Okay. What did I didn't understand the answer. I'm sorry. I had a sound issue. I couldn't hear you guys anymore. But so those are plane pictures, is that or
high altitude plane or maybe
high altitude
satellites on balloon.
Okay, good.
No, not satellites.
Yeah, you can identify a photographic plane, a small Cessna. They use a lot of small Cessna 4-seaters. Take out the seats, put a big camera on the floor with a hole in the bottom of the plane. But from the so you can't see any camera equipment, but you can see the exhaust is extended all the way to the back of the airplane.
Are you kidding?
So
you
that
have giant,
because
you have giant
because the heat
airplanes.
from the exhaust can distort the picture.
No.
No,
They
there are
have
tons.
very
There are tons
advanced, very advanced planes that barely zoom, barely vibrate at all. Electrically driven capabilities, that kind of thing, that have incredible cameras on them. Incredible cameras. And they just used that, pointed straight down, and just took snapshots every so far and just gridded out the entire surface. Very easy.
Okay, Darwin. Sure. Whatever you say. I mean,
they used
the aircraft. I know the aircraft. I'm not saying
they used the government data, right? Well, I'm pretty sure the government.
Owen, the guy's trying to give his personal testimony. and you just want to disagree with what he's seen with his own eyes while he's describing it. I don't get it. Just let him tell you.
Look, I'm not saying that these small Cessnas are taking every picture of the Earth that you've ever seen. No, but they do use them as mapping aircraft. They use helicopters. Oil companies use helicopters with cameras in them. So apparently there's no issue with vibration, or the equipment takes it out. I don't know. But I'm just saying, over the last 10 years, 10, 15 years, that the number that I've seen have increased. That I've seen, they come to our local airport, you know, they're operating in our area, they fly grid patterns, you know, mowing the lawn, they call it. They go back and forth right. over a grid pattern, taking pictures.
Those are the 3D scanners.
I don't know what they're using these pictures for.
They stay close up.
But you talk to the pilot and he'll tell you they're mapping.
That's right. Those are the 3D
they're mapping
scanner
for
planes.
either oil and gas exploration, or for what, I don't know, or Google Earth. I don't know.
3D mapping. I've already
But
seen
they're
it
usually
applied.
3D scanning what, Arwen?
The surface.
A minute ago, you said they didn't do it that way. Now you're saying they 3D map the
No,
surface with it.
That's a different process. That's not the satellite imagery photograph that we get to see in Google Maps. Those are real high up actual photographs. But the scanning, that's just 3D data. They're scanning the surface, and they can't do that at a fast distance, not accurately.
So for like
to stay up close, they're just scanning the surface, just like an Xbox, the new one, you know, scanning everything.
No, that's
3D.
LiDAR. You're talking about LiDAR, Arwen.
Yeah.
Well, that's not what he's talking about.
Yes.
I don't get it, Arwen. I just don't
well,
get why
these
you're
planes
challenging him
I've seen, I didn't tear apart the airplane to check it out, but from what the pilots tell me, these are digital photographs, digital mapping, taking digital photographs.
Cool. With that, I'm going to say first and foremost, a huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of the debating panel for making this debate possible, and of course a massive thank you to all of the live audience for tuning in and hopefully sharing this debate. If you hated the show, you know exactly what to do, but if you liked it, maybe consider sharing it with a friend or subscribing if you've not done so already. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!